Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. So today we continue to discuss about the light of Buddha. So let me give you some information about when the Buddha ascended to the heaven of 33. He taught Abhidharma, or the books of analysis, to his mothers, Queen Maya, the one that passed away after he was born 7 days, and she was born in the Tusita heaven as a celestial being. And there were two gods that sat on the right side and left side of Buddha. And the Buddha mentioned that one celestial being offer only one spoon of food to Vembo Anuruddha, but he got the blessing equally to another gods or celestial beings that offer the food to the Sangha, the monks, for 1,000 years. So at that time, the Buddha told them that due to the merits of made up into a holy monks of our heart, and that's why that celestial beings could have that abundant merit to compare with the one that gave the food to 1,000 monks in 1,000 years. So after that, he spoke a verses: with ruin a few, lust ruin a mankind. Therefore, alms given to those that are free from lust yield abundant food. With ruin a few, hatred ruins mankind. Therefore, alms given to those who are free from hatred yield abundant fruit. Which ruin a few, delusion ruins mankind. Therefore, alms given those that are free from delusion yield abundant food. With ruin a few, desire ruin mankind. Therefore, alms given to those that are free from desire yield abundant food. So again, in these verses, and the Buddha say that like with doing a few, so lust, hatred, delusion, and desire ruin our humankind, destroy our lives. So that's what the Buddha mentioned. And but he said that whoever give alms support to the one that free from hatred, from lust, from desire, from delusions, and so forth, would yield abundant fruit. So it's similar to the Sutra of 42 session. In one the session, the Buddha said that to have 100 bad people is not equivalent to have a good person. To have 500 good person is not equivalent to have one person who have taken refuge and 5 pieces. And to have 500 people who have taken refuge in 5 precepts is not equivalent to make offerings to the first stage of arhatship and so forth. So in this type of sutra, the Buddhas remind us that we need to recognize where we need to plant the seed of merit. So again, in that sutra, the Buddha said that if we have 500 bad people, it's not equivalent to have one good person. This means when we have bad people, they create bad karma, and we have to pay for the price together with them later on. Like if we support the thieves, criminals, and so forth, they go out to harm others, and we have to pay our bad karma later on because of our support for them. And we will move further. If we have 500 good people, but that's not equivalent to have one person that have taken the three refuges and 5 precepts, because sometimes good people, if they cannot control their mentality, they may turn to bad people. If they encounter difficulties or any kind of adverse situation. But for the one that have taken three refuges of Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and who abide the 5 precepts, they make the vows to abstain or restrain themselves from killing, stealing, such misconduct, lying, and taking tasking. Most of the time, they would not dare to do bad karma. And the Buddha move further. If we have 500 people who have taken the 3 refuges and 5 precepts, that kind of merit is not equivalent to the merit that we make offerings to a monk, nun who attend the first stage arhatship and so forth. So in life, because of our limited merit and virtue, we need to know where we blend our seed of merit and virtue too. Like in business, if you buy stock from a company that's growing, your stock will grow with that company. But if you buy stock from a companies that have some financial problems, you may lose your stock. Just in a similar way. So anyway, you need to pick up the credential companies that doing good business to invest into. So do our investments on the merit. So that's the choice we have. The same amount of money we invest in one company and others, it may bring the different result. So that's why here the Buddha mentioned that if we make offerings or support the one that overcome or transform their lust, anger, and delusion, that would yield abundant fruit. That was the case of a celestial beings. That's just make offerings to the venerable Anuruddha and Arhat, holy monks, that celestial beings accept and receive a, a great retribution. So there is one story. Another story I want to mention is that during that 3 months in the heaven of 32, so the Buddha taught Abhidhamma Pitaka, has been the collection of analysis, the commentaries to his former models and all celestial beings in that heaven. Venerable Sariputta went up there to listen to the Buddha teachings and went back to recite this teaching to 500 monks that follow him. So the Buddha told the assembly that during the past Buddha Kashipa, those 500 monks were bats. In a mountain caves, they hang themselves, and somehow they overheard 2 months reciting Abhidhamma, the books of analysis. When these 2 monks walk back and forth, up and down their walkway, and at that time, these 500 bats love to hear the voices of these 2 monks that recite Abhidhamma Tipika, because of their good heart and sincerity. After they pass away, they were born in the celestial realms, and after they finish their lifespan in the heaven, they were born on earth to become private monks under Venerable Shariputra guidance, and that's why during this occasion, Venerable Shariputra went up to the heaven of 33 to listen to Buddha teaching, and went down to recite that teaching to them. And another thing I want to mention is that while the Buddha was up there, he created another image of him. So when it's time for him to go out to beg for food, so he created that kind of double image. That double image would continue to teach the celestial beings at the heaven of 32, and another one, that's mean the real one. The Buddha went to Himalaya and wait for food, and after lunch he would come back to teach again. So it means he used his sacred power to create double image of him. So that that double image would continue to teach others why the Buddha went out to have food for his lunch. So he did every day to continue during that 3 months of the trips in that heaven. And the last time I mentioned that Mahabrahma Saka went down from the heaven of 32 to the earth, and they fall on the canopy. Let me show you this here. Let me share with you. So here you can see here. So those kind of gods, all the canopies to cover the Buddhas and send the Buddha down from that heaven. This is one of the images that I showed last time, and you see two of them or other celestial beings offer the flowers, or they put the canopies, canopy to cover the Buddha head, and this one here too. Okay, so and another story relates to how the Buddha came down from the heaven. It's related to this event. So there was a king. His name is Udena. He was a sincere Buddhist, and during the 3 months that the Buddha went up to the heaven to teach, so he missed the Buddha so much that he asked Venerable Shripuja to bring his people to that heaven, so that they could observe the Buddha, and after that they came down to make the Buddha statue from the sandalwood. So from that time on, this king Buddhadanas of let me show you here, Kosabi worship that statue, and according to the Buddhist record, even legend, it says that this is the first ever Buddha statue was created during the Buddha times. Of course, before that, the Buddha would not approve anyone that make the statue from him. He just asked his disciple to pay respect to the Buddha trees. That's where he attained enlightenment, not his own image or statue. But in this special occasion, the king Uddodana made that kind of sandalwood statue to worship the Buddha during the 3 months that he was not on earth. But of course, there's another legend or record. It mentioned that the king of Savatis in Kusala kingdom, he make a golden statue of the Buddha. That means they make the Buddha statue from a solid gold. So that's according to the legends. And so it says that before the Buddha came down from heaven, the statue that was made by the king's Udana men, that statue somehow flew up to the air and met to Buddha on the way that he went down. And at that time, the Buddha, Shakyamuni, he kneel down and prays that you will represent me 1,000 years after my nirvana. That's when this Buddha statue would represent him after 1,000 years of his existence, of his death. And that's why somehow, according to some scholar, they say that around 1,000 years later, after the Buddha passed away, this statue, the statue was built by the King Udana, was so popular, and that it was transmitted from India to China. But of course, the Buddha statue that were graded or made by the King Udodana were replicates in many different statues that were sent to China when the first delegation of Indian monks who came to China at the White House Monastery due to the request of the King Hamindi. According to the legend, the king, the Emperor Hamindi during the first century had a dreams that he saw a golden man flying on the air. So it's still a popular story. And when he wake up, he told and asked his ministers, and some of them replied that they heard a Buddha that will exist in India. So why don't you send a delegation to India to seek for his teaching and his statue? That's why this emperor Minty sent his delegation to India and request two monks who brought the Buddhist sutras as well as one of the statue, one of the replica statue of King Udodana that had made that sandalwood Buddha statue. So that has a connection there. So the two Indian monks brought the 42 section sutras that was first translated at the White Horse Monastery in Chang'an, the old capitals of China before. And they brought together with them the replicas Buddha statue that was graded made by the King Udodana. So that's another story. And later on, this kind of statue is really popular. That Kumaricha is the most famous translator that came to China to translate the sutra. Let me type his name. Kumarajiva, the translator. That's him here. So he was a Buddhist monk, scholar, missionary, and translator from the kingdom of Kucha. So he first started the teaching of Savatthi Vadin and later on study Buddha version. That means at first he followed the Theravada traditions, but later on he converted into Mahayana Buddhism. And so this monk is so famous as he translates many Buddhist sutra from Sanskrit into Chinese with the help of 1,000 monks during the 4th century. And according to legend, it said that Kumarajiva brought with him a replicas of the Buddha statue that was created or made by the king Udana. So that's this connects with the story of the king Udana. So another things that relate to this king, King Udana, that before he became a Buddhist, he has 3 wives. The one wife, she was a sincere devout Buddhist. Another one that really hated Buddha. And so the one that had the hatred or resentment toward the Buddhas because when she was young, she was so beautiful, and her parents went around to seek for a husband, but they could not find a suitable one. So one day when they went out and met the Buddha, and somehow the fathers recognized the wholesome features of the Buddhas. So he thought that the Buddha would be suitable husband for his daughter. So here, let me share with you this clip so that you can understand what I try to explain. And this mention about this type of beautiful ladies, but somehow because of the Buddha explanation to her parents, she has resentment, and later on she tried to revenge. Let me share with you this video clip.
But today I found one. Venerable Sir, my name is Magandia. I have a daughter who I would like to get married. But here in Kuru, I can find no suitable husband. And then I saw you today. I am very pleased by your appearance. Please accept my daughter as your wife. Oh, and don't worry that she's ugly or unattractive. There's nobody in this whole country more beautiful than Magandia. Please wait here. Oh, my dear child, Magandia. Oh, I'm exhausted. Hurry up. Make yourself as attractive as you can. Now, right now. Quickly, my daughter.
If you're tired, then sit down and take a rest, husband. And why do you want our daughter, Makandia, to dress up prettily?
Come on, please. Sit down and rest. No. Magandia, are you ready yet? Hurry up.
I'm ready, Father.
Right. Go quickly. I've met him.
Met who?
I met him. Hey, where's he gone?
What's this all about? You brought me all this way and I still don't know what you're talking about.
I met our daughter's future husband. That's what I'm talking about. I told him to wait for me here, but he's disappeared. Ah, there, you see? His footprints are still there. You're knowledgeable in the texts dealing with the interpretation of footprints. Have a look at them.
Two footprints that exactly match in this way are the footprints of a great being. They show that he is beyond craving, beyond anger, beyond delusion, without defilement. Such a one is not interested in household life.
No defilement? What? Every man likes beautiful women. Let's see what happens when he sees our daughter. The main thing is to find where he's gone to. Oh, over there! I found him! Quickly, wife! Magandia, hurry! Follow your father! Venerable sir! Venerable sir! Venerable sir, this is my wife, and this is my daughter, Magandia, who I'm going to offer to you.
Brahmins, I rejected sensual pleasure on the day of my enlightenment. I've seen the root cause of your existence, karma. You arise from sensual thoughts. Those thoughts arise in me no longer. Your karma will appear no more. Brahmins, listen to this teaching. The wise person must put effort into raising his mind out of attachment to sensuality, freeing himself from Mara's snare, steadying himself with the hook of mindfulness. He is able to master himself. He is able to have victory over himself.
Your teachings have illuminated the path ahead for us both. Lord, do not hold it against our daughter. Magandia is still very young. We ask permission to go to my younger brother, to give him all my wealth, and ask him to take over as guardian of our daughter. As for my wife and me, we will ask permission to join the monastic order, so that we may, in time, realize enlightenment.
Anyway, so this short clip that mentioned about this couple want to offer their daughters to the Buddhas, but the Buddha say he gave up all sensual pleasure on the night that he attained enlightenment. So it make this young lady mad, and eventually she became one of the wives of the king Udana, and she still remember that kind of experience with the Buddha, so that she tried many ways to revenge, and so the king Udana got married with another woman, and this lady, she was a devout Buddhist. So she used to go to see and hear the Buddha teaching together with her finest female servants. So the ladies that hold the grudge or the hatred toward the Buddha's message scam that blame this ladies, the Buddhist queen, so that the king would kill her. So she made a hole in the wall in their own rooms. Magandiya, the one that had the Buddha, make that hole and blame that the all the queens, Samavati, the devout Buddhist, that she is not faithful to the king. But the king at first didn't believe that. And so when she made another scam, Magandiya made another scam to harm the Buddhist queen, Samavati, that she put a snake beneath the bed of the king. So the king was so furious that he wanted to kill the Buddhist queen, Samavati. But at that time, the queen Samavati told her finest female servant that we have no other refuge but cherish the times and spread the compassion to the king. And the queen's Magadiyana, so just spread that compassion toward them. Don't be angry with them. Just think about taking the refuge to Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And at that time, the king took his arrow and bow. With all his strength, he shoot that arrows, the arrow that has poison. He aimed at Queen Samavati, who stood in the front, and all the other women in the single line behind her. So at that time, the king released the arrow, but somehow due to her compassion, the arrow turned around to shoot at the king heart. At that moment, he's so frightened. The king was so frightened that he kneeled down to the queen's Samavati, that I'm confused. I'm so confused in my mind. Please protect me, Samavati, and be my refuge. So hearing that, the Queen Samavati say, well, you need to take the refuge to the Buddhas, not me. So she made the verse, do not seek refuge in me. You need to take refuge in the Buddha. The Red Kings is the incomparable one. Seek refuge with the Buddha. Do not take refuge with me. So the king so trembled and frightened, and he said that I'm more afraid, and please protect me, be my refuge. But again, the queens refused and say again that you need to take refuge Buddha. And later on, the king agreed. And so both of them went to see the Buddha, and from that time on, he became the Buddhist king that protect Buddha teachings. So the Buddha, when the monk asked what happened, how it's related to the Queen Samavati, the Buddha told them the story of the past life, especially later on the queen that had the Buddha, Maja Diya, made a scam to burn the apartments of Queen Samavati together with foreigners, female servants. And at that moment, this Queen Samavati told her foreigners, female servant, that they need to contemplate about the permanence of life, as well as to spread the compassion toward whoever harmed them. And of course, they were burned down to death. And after they passed away, they were born in celestial realms. So when some monks report to Buddha this incident, the Buddha told them the story that relates to them. And of course, the king Udana, when he heard that his queen Samavati was burned alive together with her father's female servants, he was so angry that he made a scam that he pretend to be happy that Samavati was dead. So at that time, Queen Magadiya, the one who still had the resentment toward the Buddha, that tried to harm the Queen Samavati, or the one that made that scam to burn Samavati together with her servants, approached to the king and say, well, I'm the one that made a scam to burn them down to death. So the king is so furious that he ordered to torture her together with her relatives. So again, when some monks report these problems, this incident to the Buddha, the Buddha mentioned about the past life, especially the past life of the Samavati. So the Buddha said that in one lifetimes in the past, Savatis together with foreigners, female servant, somehow they went to the forest, and somehow they so cold on that day. And it happened that there was a solitary Buddha appear in the world, and somehow he sat in meditation and covered by the straw. And the ladies together with foreigners servant went around to find the wood to warm them up, but somehow they could not to find anything. So somehow they encountered the straw hut, and they didn't know that there was a solitary Buddha inside. So that's why they burned that straw hut to warm them up. At first, they didn't know, but later on, when they knew this was Buddha inside that hut, so somehow they so frightened and they still burned him And so the Buddha say that because of that type of karma, they were burned out in these times. But because of their sincere devotion to the Buddha teaching, that's why after they was passed away, they was born into the celestial realm. So let me share with you the image of this queen, the queen Samavati, that was shown by the king, but somehow the arrow went back to shoot him. That's why he's so frightened to bow to her, to seek a refuge from her, but she refused. They say that you need to go to see the Buddha, and the Buddha was your refuge. So again, this is a story that relates to this king, Buddhana, and that's why from that time on he became a sincere Buddhist. Since time is up, let me talk here today, and next time I may discuss a little bit about the place where the Buddha went down from heaven. It's still exists in India, and actually that is one of the 8 great places for the Buddhists to visit. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. See you then.